DDG just posted to Twitter that he's been fighting for months now to try to see Halo. And child, I just feel like this is about to get messy. Because Chloe and Halle do not play those social media games. Their mentor is Beyonce. They have been trained and trained well to keep their personal lives private. So it's crazy that her baby daddy is someone whose life is very, very public. DDG has never, ever been scared to tell people what's going on in his life. But he posted to his Twitter saying, "Been fighting to see my son for months now. Shout out to all the dads who tried their best to be there. This shit sucks." Honestly, just goes to show you that you never really know what's going on behind closed doors. Because as much as DDG is on Twitch live streaming, hanging out with celebrities, hanging out with girls, doing all this stuff up there, you would never think that behind the scenes he's been fighting to see his son. But child, that just goes to show you it's none of our business anyway. We never know what's going on until they bring it to the internet. I just hope that this doesn't cause a Twitter war between him and Halle, because we ride at dawn for Ariel. So I hope that they can figure this out behind closed doors and without social media's input.
I'm going out, but I quickly wanted to touch on the whole Halle and DDG situation because it's so funny to me how a relationship will be done, but people still want access as if everyone's still together. The relationship is done, party over. Yeah, you can't just roll up in the girl's house as if you guys are still in a relationship. You need an invitation, and when you're on your way, you need to text me to confirm. And when you get to my door, you're not just going to roll up in my house and kiki with my child. We are co-parenting, so you can't just come up in the house and kiki as if we're still together. It's not going to happen. Now there's boundaries, there's systems that need to be in place. You cannot just do what you like. And I think because he cannot just do what he likes, he's crashing out on the internet. But obviously, I don't take away from the fact that I don't think Halle is as simple as she makes herself to be. I think she has her ways too, and she can be quite yeah. But I also just think that when a relationship is done and you're co-parenting looks very different than when you were in a relationship. And I don't think he realized that. So the crash out is very interesting. And I think they're both blocking each other in terms of if she sees him with other women, filming and stuff, she then decides, oh, you're not going to see my child. You're not going to see the child anymore. When she's shooting a film and she's with her co-host and it's a male, he goes on the internet. I think when you're co-parenting, the landscape of things look very different in comparison to when you're in a relationship. And I think the two of them, I think boundaries is blurred. Or either boundaries is blurred or boundaries are in place. And nobody likes it. But this is what's going to happen if you can't roll up in people's house. Invitation only, roll up. Well, co-parenting looks very, very different to when you are in a relationship.
Not too much on DDG. I know there's no empathy for the men around here, right? But not too much. Just slow it down a bit. If Anthony Edwards can go out there and talk about he don't want to see his kids, he told the judge that legally, I think you could have a bit of an empathy for a young man who's, venting and frustrations about not being able to see his child, no matter what the issues are. There's three sides, his side, her side, and the truth. I get it. Did he run to the internet? Yes, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that, but it's what he does. He's a streaming guy. You can say you don't like it. You can say you're not a fan, but not too much on someone trying to be an active father. And for what I know, this is the first time ever being a dad. Just a little bit of empathy. And then on top of that, DDG, you didn't hear from me, my brother, but that court system is not only for women. I know a lot of y'all don't like getting them. Just how I see the situation, you may have to get stuff on paper, brother. You may have to. If Anthony Edwards, I'll repeat again, can go to a judge, get stuff on paper, and then tell the judge, I don't want to see this kid. You can go to the courts and say, hey, I want it on paper to see my kids. I know that's last resort. That way, you don't have to come on the internet again. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I'm signing out. Notice how I said everything I said without disrespecting a young lady as well? Not that complicated, guys.
I just want to see my family. Cold word, I need my family. Feeling like I need a Grammy. Oh, don't take my son, cause he all I got. I'm just having fun. I don't love these stocks. You tell me that you gon' move on, but I know you.
Actually, I think I might have been wrong on this one. My last video, I said not too much on DDG. Maybe it's not enough on DDG. One thing about me. One thing about me. New information. I'm gonna what the fuck? Oh my god. New information. I'm willing to change my mind. I think. By the way, we're still for active fathers. We're still against deadbeats. But just maybe some of these youths out here that's badmouthing him know a little more about him than I know. Maybe they just kind of know that at the end of the day, it's what Flip be saying on the Joe Budden podcast, COE, content over everything. This song wasn't even that bad. It's just his face. Like the theatrics. It's like when I start seeing people do theatrics like that, like I'm very, like it's hard to explain because I'm a theatrics guy too. Like literally, you see me laughing, crying, right? So it's like when it's certain serious and you too theatrical about that, like my spidey senses go off. Doesn't mean he's lying or nothing like that. I want to be very clear. I still think you guys should not be too harsh, right? But you gotta kind of admit it's getting jesty, very court jester here.
DDG has been expressing frustration and not being able to see Halo as often as he would like. He said that there's always some type of fight when he tries to see his son. Now, one thing I do know about DDG, that man shows and proves that he is a great dad. So I think that there should be no issue with him seeing his son. Yeah, he always has the cameras in his face, and yeah, that might be an issue, but also he is his father. He does have the right. Now, when people go through a separation, there's always going to be a parent who gets the short end of the stick. In this situation, it just looks like DDG is not be able to see his son as often as he would like, and that's unfortunate. Do I feel like this should be playing out over the internet? No, but that's the day and age that we're in. Do I feel like these clips can live on for a long time and that Halo might see it one day? Yes, and they're going to have to deal with that. People are like, oh, why don't he go to the court? He said he's going to the court, but I think it's okay to vent. It is what it is. I just hope that they get it together for the sake of Halo, because he deserves to be able to see both of his parents whenever and as often as best for him. So hopefully they get it together, but let's not act like DDG is not a good dad, okay?
The reason why DDG has chosen to go to the internet instead of the courtroom is because he knows that if he takes Halle to court, her lawyer's 100% gonna put in that petition that neither one of them can post a baby. Neither one of them can post a baby, and that baby is a source of income for him. He wants to be able to have the baby on the streams. He wants the baby to be in the vlogs, and I don't think Halle really cares to post a baby. She said she waited so long to post her child because she wanted to protect her child from bullies and just opinions, and she just wanted to keep it private. And he knows if they go to court, that's one of the things she's going to ask for. And I can't believe he doesn't realize how crazy he sounds. He literally came on his stream and said the reason why he's going the internet route, or the reason why he's bringing it to the internet, is because he feels like this is his, only resort before court to be able to see his child. He's basically saying, I want y'all to go bully her and shame her and guilt her into doing what I say. Basically, I want her to get such bad press that she just has to do what I say because it's only going to get worse. He's definitely showing signs of narcissism. Like, if you can't see that, you might be blind. And what it sounds like to me is he wants to be able to just call her at any point of the day and say, I want to see my child, I want to come get him. That's what it sounds like. Oh, you heard your friend is in town and you want to stream and you want the baby to be there to get extra views. That's what it sounds like. But unfortunately, you chose to be a baby daddy before a husband. You even said that you weren't even, like, a while ago when, she first was pregnant or had the baby, that you weren't ready for marriage. You weren't ready for marriage, but you're ready for a child. And unfortunately, when you decide to co-parent instead of be in a marriage, you don't get access to the child whenever you want. You can't just call her. People have plans. You can't just call her on a random day and say, I'm coming to get the baby. Like, unfortunately, that ain't how it worked. You shouldn't have been a baby daddy. You shouldn't have been a baby daddy. And sorry, but like the way the world is set up, the mother is automatically the primary parent. You should have thought about that before you thought, a baby comes before marriage. And so I hope Halle sticks to her guns. Take me to court. Or maybe she should initiate it. Let's get something on paper so that, you can stop coming to the internet whenever you don't get your way. I don't know who was in town that he wanted to stream with and he wanted the baby to be there, but that's what it's getting.
DDG is back in the media again talking bad about Halle. This man gonna get up here and say, I don't have access to my son in a way that I really want to. She's saying that she's the primary parent and I want more access to my son. I really didn't want to have to come up here and talk bad about her character because she has this golden girl image, but I feel like this is the only way. So talking bad about the mother of your children on social media is the only way to get the access to the custody that you want. We the lawyers, we the judge, we the jury. You probably drove past the courthouse where you would need to file the petition with said court in the family court in order for you to have access to your son in the way that you want access to your son to get to the podcast that you're sitting on right now talking bad about your baby mom. You've done nothing. Actually, to the contrary, you've done nothing to protect her image. You've done nothing to protect her the entirety of the relationship, the entirety of the time that she's been the mother of your child, the entirety of the time that the child has been on planet Earth. You're not doing a whole lot of protecting, a whole lot of keeping information to yourself. You the main one. Every single time we look on the internet, you the first one on the blogs. You the first one dropping a diss record during the release of one of the biggest movies probably of her fucking career at the time. You're constantly in the media talking about that girl, writing songs about her, tweeting about her, talking about her on podcasts, putting that little camera, put in any camera you could find. You, your friends, your family, any camera you could find. You putting in that little boy face. He not even 5 years old yet. He probably got more images of him on social media than the average adult in the United States of America. Honestly, I think she's probably trying to push you to take her to court so that she could petition you to stop telling all y'all fucking business. To stop posting y'all baby all the fucking time. Yeah. You drove right past the courthouse, boo. You at the wrong place. This is not the only way to get the access to your child that you really want. You know the number one way? Not have children or get married to the person that you want to be with and then have children. Those are two other options on top of that courthouse that you passed. Don't forget that. On the way home, stop down by the courthouse and file a petition, bitch. There's nothing the public can do.
You go on Twitter and say that Halle's not allowed to see your child in months. Do you know that you're a live streamer? And that we have seen you with your child recently? This video that I'm about to make is such a contrast in comparison to the video I made yesterday about Dolly Parton and the support that she received from her late husband, Carl Dean. I don't think I've ever spoken about Halle and DDG's relationship on here. I can't really give you a reason for that, but I just feel like where it has reached is just so unfortunate. I just think the way that DDG is using this platform is very irresponsible because you know the kind of audience that you have and the narrative that you're trying to paint on Halle, first of all, from what we can see, is inaccurate. But on top of that as well, you know your audience is going to go and harass her in her comment section. I have seen the way she's had to limit comments on her posts because the way that he allows people to come and troll her, to insult her, to shame her, it's just irresponsible and nasty to lie on her. Whilst you know that we have seen content of you and Halo, not just over the last couple of months, but even recently, to go online and lie in his now deleted tweet, it's pathetic. And even the comments that he's made about her working with Jonah, who was the lead actor in The Little Mermaid. First of all, Jonah is a taken man. Been taken even before The Little Mermaid was filmed. Secondly, Halle was a singer, actress before your relationship. Why would you go for someone that you know their profession is to be a performer, but also might have opportunities where it's a romantic movie? They might have to kiss, cuddle. The fact that the film is 2 years old and there's still comments being made about that is just weird. And also, as far as I know, they're not together anymore. So what was the reason? It's just too much. And the person that I feel for the most is Halo. I feel like DDG is just so chronically online that everything has to be online. If this really was a legitimate issue, family court is right there. Why are you on Twitch or whatever stream platform it is? If these things really matter to you, you will not be online right now. I'm just so upset for Halle because, yes, people were saying, oh, be careful, this. But unfortunately, the signs were there. And you can't rewind time now, but I just think it's upsetting. But all in all, go and stream Back and Forth. That is a good song right there. This is just... if I'm being honest, this is just embarrassing.